It's the big one here in Cincinnati. The Region 4 Final, and two competitors very familiar with one another. Oak Hills and Princeton next on Spectrum News 1. Along with DJ Wyrick, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. The Division 1 Region 4 Regional Final and partner should be a great one. Oak Hills at 18-7, and at 22-3 are the Princeton Vikings.
Yeah, should be a really good game. This is their third time playing, which is always interesting. I had a chance to speak to both coaches. Coach Price, really wants his team to be physical, really wants his team to take care of the ball early against Princeton's pressure. They're excited to be here. Coach Price has been doing this a long time. This is his first time in the game. I'm super happy for Coach Price and what he's been able to do with this program. He loves this team. On the other side, you got Coach Wyant. Talking to Coach, he said, we know Oak Hills is going to be a very physical team, and we need to embrace that physicality and really enjoy playing that style. So it's going to be a fun one here tonight.
We'll hit upon the officiating point a little later on in this pregame, but we do think attrition might be an issue tonight in a couple ways. In the form of the game itself with fouls, but also fatigue. It's a long season.
Yeah, it is. And the interesting thing with these two teams, it's 2 days of prep, which usually is a challenge for you as a coach. You want a little bit more time, especially in a tournament game of this caliber. But these two teams know each other so well. They've played twice. There's no secrets. Nobody used these last 2 days to put in any kind of really new offense. So it's going to be, hey, this is what we do and this is what they do. Who's going to be able to adjust and who's going to be able to take advantage of those situations?
As far as the players out on the court, some star power. Let's start out with Princeton. Cam Mercer, who of course transferred mid-season, became immediately eligible by the OHSAA. Well, he's taken Princeton here to the top.
Yeah, he's really talented. I think he's the 6th or 7th ranked player in the country in his class. Interesting that he was eligible right away, but that's great for Princeton. And he obviously brings a crowd to these types of places, which is great for obviously the state and Princeton. But he is a very talented player. I would say the one thing he needs to work on really to get to the next level is his outside shot, but he can do anything else. I mean, he can get to the basket, he can rebound, he can post up, he can handle the ball. There's not much he can't do, and he's going to be a problem for Oak Hills.
On the other side for Oak Hills, and something to bring up, you had mentioned in our pregame chat about the athleticism that this particular team has, and it's highlighted by Cordell Ball, who might be the best athlete on the floor.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete. I mean, he's almost a walking double-double. Anytime you look at the stats after the game, he's got over 10 points, he's got over 10 rebounds. He's just a difference maker for Oak Hills, and he's something. Oak Hills has not had a ton of athletes like Cordell Ball. Nate Reap last year was really good for them, but Cordell Ball is just different, and he provides such a spark for them. And then you've got A.J. Dean, who, in my opinion, is having as good of a tournament as anybody this year. There's always that one guy that when it becomes tournament time just takes it to another level, and for me it's been A.J. Dean. Clutch shots late. When they need a bucket, he's going to do it for them. He can take care of the ball. It's going to be key. A.J. Dean being able to handle the ball against Princeton's press. If he can do that, he's going to put Oak Hills in a good spot.
And, as Dean goes, so goes Oak Hills, and we'll talk more about that when we come back from the break. One more point on Cordell Ball. You mentioned a double-double threat. 6 of them this year as a sophomore. However, he's a 4-star football prospect, and he's already had his first visit to The Ohio State University.
That's impressive, and hopefully, we're going to see some dunks tonight because he's going to have a few of them, and I'm sure Mercer's going to have a few as well. It should be exciting.
We'll share our dunk meter, in fact, when we come back. So we'll take a timeout right here. We'll step aside. When we return, we'll bring you the starting lineups in the opening tip-off. This is the Region 4 Championship game on Spectrum News 1. Coming up in mere minutes, it's Oak Hills and Princeton for the right to go to state. It's the Region 4 Final here on Spectrum News 1. Along with DJ Wyrick, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here from Cincinnati, from the Cintas Center. We've had a fun one. This is the nightcap of 4 games, all selecting region winners. And in fact, we just saw Baden go down to Trotwood Madison in the game right before us. Our thanks also to Mark Kennedy, who's got your shots tonight. He's our videographer and our babysitter here for this one. DJ, as we get back into and preparing for this one, just a couple of minutes away from the start of this one, officiating might be something that we really need to focus in on for tonight.
Yeah, I think, more than any other keys to the game, to me, the biggest thing is going to be how is this game officiated. You look at Oak Hills; they've shot 100 more free throws than anybody else in the GMC this year, and they're not playing a pace that's up and down, up and down, up and down. So that is very significant. And then you look at Princeton, and they hang their hat on applying pressure. So they foul and they foul and they foul. And Coach Wyatt's got a call down there where, hey, we get to 3 or 4 fouls, he's going to tell his team they have a signal, they're going to back off their pressure. So the question becomes, are the refs going to call this thing tight? And if they do, Oak Hills is going to shoot a ton of free throws and obviously have an advantage, as that's the highest efficiency shot in the game of basketball. If the game is not called tight, the Princeton is going to create turnovers. Oak Hills is going to have a hard time taking care of the ball. So this officiating piece, to me, is the most important thing that we're going to deal with tonight.
We're getting a look at the bench for Oak Hills. Mike Price over there. He's got 496 wins, which is an impressive number. But the funny thing in this one is, even winning out and going all the way to the state final, that would put him at 499. He'd have to come back next year to get 500.
Yeah, that, and Coach Price loves that, I'm sure, because he just needs another reason to continue to do this. Coach Price is one of the best there is in the business. He's a surefire Hall of Famer. And again, he's kind of been a mentor to me as I came into the GMC. Just a great human being, and Coach Wyatt is really good too. I mean, he's had really successful teams. He's got a great career record. He's won a lot of games. Both coaches know each other well. They know the programs well, and it's going to be a good one.
Getting back to your free throw point, and we'll talk about attrition as we go a little bit more with this. Oak Hills for the season, 320 at the line for 461. That's 69 more makes than Lakota West, the second place team in makes, and 90 more attempts than Hamilton. That's a lot of points at the free throw line, and again, if this is a close game down the stretch, those free throws are going to be exceedingly meaningful.
Yeah, they really are, and this environment here, Jeff, is really tough to shoot free throws in. If you've watched any of these games in this tournament, the backdrop's different. The baskets aren't hanging from the ceilings; they're self-standing. It is a totally different shot, and that's going to be a big key. Who can knock those down? I'm sure both teams came down here and practiced and got some experience on the floor. Obviously, they've already played down here, but making free throws is going to be huge.
Yeah, and that overhang, like when you see the overhang to our left, then you kind of notice it's like, hey, that's similar to the overhang, by the way, over at Princeton. So you wonder about the depth perception, but this is a college arena, and a big one it is here for Xavier.
It is, and both ends of the floor, if you're looking at it, are different. The student section's closer on the right end down here. It's further away on the left end down there. It's something you really got to get used to. You got to have a good warm-up. You got to get a sweat going, and you got to get the nerves out.
Their last time out, down by 6 at the end of the first quarter last Wednesday, the Vikings closed out Wayne 53-26 in the game's final 24 minutes, and they beat the Wayne Warriors in the Region 4 semifinals 62-41. Cam Mercer led all scorers with 20 points and 8 rebounds. As we get a gander of the starting lineups here for Princeton. Speaking of Oak Hills for a second, they beat St. X on Wednesday 49-38 here at the Cintas Center. The Bombers did not help their cause in that one. They're going 1 for 20 from behind the three-point line. So we're getting a look at the starting lineups, and let's give them to you here for the Vikings at 22-3, 13-3 in the GMC, good for second place. They're the 2 seed out of the Cincy region, out of the Southwest 3 district. Rogni Santiago Lugo will get the start, 5'11", a senior guard, along with 2. Jordan Johnson, he'll run point at 5'11", a senior guard. 4 is Cam Mercer at 6'5", a sophomore, he'll play up front. Amir Phillips, wearing 5, is 6'2", a junior. And 11, Amir Gill will also play up front at 6'2", a junior. Their head coach is Brian Wyatt in his 6th year with the program, 97-42. For Oak Hills at 18-7, 10-6 in the GMC, good for 3rd place. A.J. Dean at 5'10", a senior, will run at the guard spot, along with 2, Brady Kornman at 6'1", a senior. Tap is controlled into the backcourt, and away we go here into the Cintas Center. The rest of the starters: 11, Cordell Ball at 6'3", a sophomore. 12, Brady Wardress at 6'3", a senior, and 22, Will Kraus, 6'1", a senior. And we got a foul and a turnover here in the half court.
Yeah, Coach Wyatt trying to get Cam Mercer involved in a ball screen early with a shooter in the corner space. That's a good set to start the game.
And it'll be Oak Hills in the black. the red stripes and the white trim, the red trim as well here to get the ball underway in the half court for the first time.
Yeah, Oak Hills again there's a foul there. Oak Hills again needs to be able to fight this pressure, and there's our first foul call, Jeff, so we'll see how this thing goes.
Little reach in by Santiago Lugo, that's his first. Senior guard, he's got a little spiciness. We saw some contentiousness with the Wayne backcourt on Wednesday. They dump it down low in a throwaway, and Amir Gill takes it away. Here comes Princeton back on offense, looking for the first score.
Little motion offense, try to get Lugo loose on the perimeter.
Gill's in the paint, outside of it now, 15-footer, no good, and tracked down by his opposite number, Cordell Ball.
Yeah, he's going to need to continue to get those rebounds and limit Princeton to one possession.
Cordell Ball, by the way, is a high flyer. He got the scoring underway in the game against St. X on a steal and a dunk, and that really broke things open immediately for Oak Hills. Here's the first jumper, and good, and Oak Hills on the board.
That's a big shot for Krause because he's not typically one to shoot a bunch of threes, and for him to have the confidence to shoot that early, that's really impressive.
They play down underneath and tie it up. Jordan Johnson with the bucket. And we're knotted up at 2 here at the Cintas Center.
Princeton again picking up the pressure full here.
Ball from long range, no good. One and done this time down. Johnson outlets up front. Santiago Lugo to the hole and no good. Gill the rebound. And we got a tussle underneath. A jump ball with 6:01 to play here in the first.
Yeah, Princeton's almost daring Oak Hills to shoot these threes. Oak Hills has to do a much better job of getting their guys back in transition because Princeton's going to rebound that thing and get out and run. They really need to get their transition defense getting back and stopping that ball.
Ball's in the hands of A.J. Dean. He makes this team go.
There's no doubt about it. He needs to get going early. I'd like to see Coach Price run a set and maybe get him an open look just to get him in rhythm and get him going.
We did a big analysis on Dean as he pumps and throws it into the paint and throws it away. And in the hands of Princeton and coast to coast, no good for Johnson.
Yeah, Oak Hill's catching some breaks here with these misses in transition.
And they'll stay outside and wait for everybody to catch up. 2.5 minutes deep, tied at 2. Here's Dean, speaking of for 3, no good, one and done on this possession.
That's definitely the look Coach Price wanted, and they'll take that all night.
Thank you very much. A big finish for Cam Mercy, have mercy.
Yeah, Oak Hills again, on those threes, they've got to get their guys back in transition to get the defense set. They've got some guys watching out there, and they're going to need to get better there.
4-2's your score here.
We got an illegal screen here on Oak Hills. Again, it looks like this game's going to be called a little bit tighter, which is going to be important.
Got a 1-on-1. Or no, we're just seeing 11 down there, correct?
Yeah. Foul on 11 for Oak Hills. That's ball.
So Gill picks up his first. Sebastian Jordan, who's into this ballgame for the first time, and now they go. Lugo, he is denied and rejected.
Oh, and that's off Lugo. It hit off his leg and went out of bounds. Yeah, Ramos being back for Princeton is huge for them because, you know, he just provides, he's a high IQ player and really provides an intelligent presence for them out there. Really experienced guy.
Jonathan Herzog, who, by the way, had 16, which was a game high in their last game between the two teams in the Oak Hills win last month.
Yeah, he's their shooter. He can really knock down threes. And again, the way Princeton's guarding, I think Oak Hills is going to need to do that.
Nice shake and bake. 3 from the wing, too strong for Kornman, and 1 and done. Johnson, and it's taken away. Dimitri Vetter, who came in on that last dead ball. It was a good line change for Mike Price that last time out, and now he stepped out.
Yeah, I think we're seeing some nerves here early, Jeff, with the guys. I think both teams need to kind of settle in. Princeton's getting great looks in transition. They're just not being able to finish. And Oak Hills needs to do a little better job of taking care of the ball here.
Halfway through this first, we've had fun so far. The opening minutes, and again, jitters for everybody. Neither team really settled in as of yet. 3 off the catch. A long 3 it is!
Great shot. He can really knock down threes. But you got to have high hands on his closeouts and be urgent with them.
Santiago Lugo strikes first, his first time in the bucket, in the book, and it's 7-2 Princeton.
Yeah, you know, he plays for the Puerto Rican national team, Jeff, and he's got a lot of experience probably in games like these with these types of crowds.
3 to answer back for Vetter. Dimitri Vetter. Just 5 for 24 coming into the ball game from 3, but he makes it 7-5.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that the pace of this game has been very up and down to start. It's kind of a fun one.
Kenny Pope, beg your pardon, 3, that's Vetter, and then now they stay outside, 3 out. Vetter trying to drive baseline, a little contact, he survived it, then a foul, Santiago Lugo picks it up.
Yeah, back to the officiating, Jeff. You know, I don't feel like they're calling much in transition. I feel like there's been a lot of plays at the rim that maybe could have had a call or two, but in the half court, they're calling pretty tight in the half court.
So a couple more on the line change here. Both teams freely substituting here in the early minutes. We were wondering coming in if we'd see Iron Man basketball or not. That is not the case. Steal. A takeaway. Here's Mercer to the hole, and no good. He drew the foul with 2:43 to go here in this first.
That's great ball pressure, which really created that pass. And you know, Princeton's doing a good job getting up in those passing lanes and turning Oak Hills over. I think Coach Price is telling Dean right now to get, you know, we want the ball in your hands. We want you to get us organized.
Cam Mercer misfires on the first. He's averaging 14.5 points a ball game. He's shooting just about 67.5% at the line this year.
Yeah, he's really talented, Jeff. You know, you got I can see some college coaches. I see Ohio State down there on the baseline, but people are here to see him, and he's impressive.
No, oh, and he got the shooter's roll.
Coach Wyatt getting a sub here to get his press set up. Johnson's probably subbing in now. Johnson's probably one of the best on-ball defenders, certainly in the GMC, but I think in the state as well.
He's really, really good, and also the best assist maker in the GMC this year at 4.7. So in this game, we have the best assist maker, rebounder, and scorer.
Now again, I don't think Princeton wants to pick up fouls at half like that. And Oak Hills is getting a pretty favorable whistle in the half court.
So Mercer picks that up. And by the way, you don't want Cam Mercer particularly in foul trouble.
No, you definitely don't want that. He needs to be out there for them. They got 3 team fouls now. This is a time where Coach Wyatt's telling his guys, hey, back your hands up, back the pressure off a little bit, and let's just sit down and guard in the half court.
I'll have the touch now, Dean. Actually, beg your pardon, that's Jonathan Herzog. Kornman stuck in the paint, and now they keep it outside. Good job in containing the middle right now for Princeton.
Yeah, Oak Hills is setting some flares and trying to get some things on the backside and take advantage of the way Princeton's helping. But Princeton's doing a really good job of staying locked in.
Ball with 2 to go here in this first. Down by 3, but they have the ball, and now he'll trigger 3 off the left wing, off the mark, and Gill the rebound. And he's been, speaking of double-double makers, he's a good one himself.
Yeah, he is, and
Johnson lets fly, no good, and they'll retain up front.
Princeton showing some patience here offensively. A lot of times they like to run that set where they'll back screen into the post and then down screen to screening back out for a three. But this is what they really want, in my opinion, right now is Mercer isolation drives.
No good on the 15-footer, and another opportunity. Offensive rebounds are going to be a factor tonight. Drive, Phillips,
Good
and the kick out to nobody, and we head the other way with 1:12 to go.
That's good physical defense by Oak Hills, being able to chest two drivers like that. They're doing a good job sending a message that these driving lanes aren't going to be there for you tonight.
Again, both teams freely substituting in this one. You really see this with the way substitutions have gone here in the early minutes, that both Mike Price and Brian Wyatt are thinking 32 minutes.
Yeah, there's no doubt. In these games here,
Dean misfires.
You've got the nerves. You get tired really quickly. So I think both coaches are doing a good job of getting guys out and getting them right back in.
Sebastian Jordan from long range, no good. A lot of one-and-dones here, and ball the rebound. We mentioned in the pregame 6 double-doubles this year.
Yeah, he's a great athlete. He's going to rebound the ball down there. There's no doubt about it. It's interesting to me right now. You know, it's an 8-5 game, but this game is kind of up and down. This isn't the way I expected the first quarter to go.
Not a lot of scoring, but it's been fluid, if that makes any sense.
For sure. It looks like Oak Hills is going to hold for the last one here. They're going to run this stack out play where they're going to send Krause here and maybe hit him or ISO drive to the right here.
Can't get around Jordan, Dean, and now he'll give it back outside. Will Krause finally gets a touch. Outside, 3 from Herzog, away off the mark. Dean the step around, tries to penetrate. Works in on Gill, throws it up, no good at the buzzer, and we head to the second. Fun to be sure in the first 8 here at the Cintas Center. 8-5, Princeton with the lead here on Spectrum News 1. The OHSAA Basketball State Championships can be seen live exclusively on Spectrum News 1 and the Spectrum News app. All 7 divisions of the boys' championships are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all from UD Arena in Dayton. Friday features the Division 4 and 3 championships at 4:15 and 7:30 respectively. On Saturday, it's Divisions 5, 7, then 6 in the nightcap, and with tip times at 1 o'clock, 4:15, and 7:30. Finally, Division 2, then 1 on Sunday, beginning at noon with Division 2, and then at 3:15 for Division 1. The games are also available on OHSAA.tv. Along with DJ Wyrick, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. Quarter number 2 coming on up. Partner, your impressions here on the first 8.
You know, I think both coaches have to be happy. You know, Oak Hill's down at this end. They're getting great shots. Princeton's kind of daring their non-shooters to shoot threes, and Oak Hills is comfortable shooting them. And I think Princeton's happy because they're getting a lot of looks in transition. They haven't finished them this first quarter, but I think they will this second quarter here.
They work it in, nothing doing down low for Mercer.
Coach Wyatt trying to isolate Mercer in the post. They've been doing that a lot more lately, and it's been effective for him. That was a good look.
And at 6'5", he's got at least a 4-inch advantage down low. Down low for ball!
That's a great back cut by Oak Hills, trying to take advantage of Princeton's pressure, get it to the middle, face up, make a play.
Averaging 13 a ball game, his first bucket, 8-7. League's best rebounder this year at about 8 a ball game. Here's Jordan, feeds inside, denied, and there's those passing lanes that are not open right now for Princeton.
Yeah, now Oak Hills is doing a really good job of packing it in and taking away the passing lanes. Princeton's probably going to have to start shooting some threes or take their chances to continue to attack those gaps. Maybe a little bit more movement prior to the attack would work, but it's going to be fun here.
They work it in, Johnson. It's Mercer, one-on-one, penetrates, goes right to the rack, no good. He'll do the foul with 7:12 left to go in the half.
Yeah, that's a good job of getting him to leave his feet. Big, strong drive, playing off the 2. Man, he's good. That's a really good play.
Five fouls now on Oak Hills here in this ball game. And Mercer left hands it up and good. Cam Mercer has been a well-traveled young man here the last couple of years. Started out at Winton Woods in middle school. Went down to Huntington Prep, if I recall, in West Virginia, and then moved on to Georgia for a handful of games before coming home. I guess he wanted to come home.
Yeah, it's interesting that, he's eligible immediately. A guy it's rare that a guy's playing high school basketball that has made money playing this game. But good, good for the kid, good for Princeton.
NIL has changed the complexion of sports.
There's no doubt about it.
He's got 11 offers, by the way, at last check. I know you mentioned Ohio State in the building here this afternoon.
Yeah, he can probably go wherever he wants to go, Geoff.
Dean mishandles, and they save it up front. Nothing doing there for Kornman, and this one heads out with 6:41 to go. Speaking about kids who can go anywhere they want, we don't get to see them here because they're in Region 3, but Lakota West has Bryce Curry and Josh Tyson, and I know Tyson's up for Mr. Basketball in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, two really good players. I'm really excited. We could have a GMC state final, Geoff, because whoever wins this one, and if Lakota West continues to take care of business, that'd be great for our league.
And they have Pick Central, if I recall, in the nightcap here in the state of Ohio tonight. 6:15 to go till halftime, 10-7. Princeton holding on to the lead. They've done well at keeping Oak Hills at arm's length.
Yeah, they're doing a great job at chesting those drives.
It's Gill. Oh, nice move to the baseline. Can't get it to fall. And right now there's a malaise at the bucket for some reason on layups.
Yeah, it's again, Princeton's getting some great looks. They got to get their eyes on the rim a little earlier. But if they continue to do this, I think they're going to offensively they're going to be just fine.
We have a timeout here, and we'll step aside with 6:01 left to go till halftime. 10-7, Princeton with the lead when we come back here on Spectrum News 1. This is the rubber game between the two schools. The Vikings beat the Highlanders in Sharonville on January the 16th, 45-32. Amir Gill led all scorers with 15 in that one. Oak Hills won the rematch a month later on February the 13th, 52-49. Jonathan Herzog came off the bench. He poured in a game-high 16 in that win. Princeton, by the way, has found good luck since. They've won 7 straight to this point.
Yeah, they're playing really good basketball right now. And you kind of figured it would take Mercer a little bit of time to get used to playing in their system. And I feel like he's getting much more comfortable, and that's really helping Princeton.
Herzog, speaking of, and he let go of it.
Coach Wyant trying to get that travel call. He's really getting after him now.
Coach, and of course, for those of you in our audience who don't know, DJ Wyrick here is the head coach of the Fairfield Indians, 3-time GMC champs. He knows how to get to this game. What is the value of politicking from a head coach from the bench?
You got to be careful with it because, these officials are humans too, right? And if you're on them too hard, that 50-50 call is probably going the other way the next time it happens. But again, you got to fight for your kids, so it's very delicate, and both of these coaches know how to play the game.
Pick your spots.
That's 100%. They try to get Mercer in the post again.
Low right drew the double, and now they stay outside. And again, we see 3 in the paint right now for Oak Hills. That's not by mistake. They go back cut. No good! So even when they have opportunities at the hoop, they can't finish.
That's another great look by Princeton. Again, they will take those shots all night long. They just got to start finishing them.
Vedder got a touch. They play it to the wing. Dean has it. And Oak Hills wins. A.J. Dean averages 18 a ball game. That's a lot of point production when you're going good.
Yeah, he's tough. He's trying to get involved here. That's a good shot.
15-footer, back iron and out. Johnson in traffic. Mercer back outside. 3 from the corner. Knock it down.
That's a big shot, and another key to the game that Coach Price talked about was this transition defense. When that shot goes up, they got to have 2 guys sprinting back and getting their defense set and getting matched and communicating.
Amir Gill makes it 13-7. Princeton with the 6-point lead. It's Oak Hills with the ball right now. They're a little stagnant in the half court. 3 from Vedder from the corner. A little too long. One and done. Gill the rebound. He wants to run, but will wait.
Again, Oak Hills with another good possession, another good shot.
Now he'll take it to the rack. No good, and they'll play it out. It's Ball one-on-one down the floor, and now he'll have to wait. Good defense on that sideline by Johnson. Out to Dean. Beg your pardon, to Kornman. Kornman with 2.
That's a pretty heads-up play there by Santiago. I know Oak Hills ended up scoring, but he did a good job faking and falling and forcing in that situation a contested layup.
Kornman averages 6 a ball game, 13-9. Princeton by 4 at the halfway point of the second half, of the second quarter. It's Johnson trying to create. Gill is fouled down low by the other 11. So 11 on 11 damage as Ball went and got him.
You know, I'm sure Coach Price is telling his guys this. When Johnson drives to the basket, as you said, he's leading the league in assists. He's not looking really to attack to score. He's looking to create for others. Now, when Lugo has the ball, he's going in there to score. Johnson does a really good job of creating things for others.
Johnson had a game against Wayne that, you know, I don't want to say it defies expectation, but you think about points so prevalently in a game. But to your point on the point guard, he had 2 points, yet 7 assists against Wayne. And during those moments, especially in the first quarter when Wayne had a good 6-point lead, it was Johnson that stabilized him.
Yeah, and Oak Hills needs to do a really good job of staying home off the ball when he's driving the basketball. That's going to be key for them tonight.
So Gill hits at the line, a couple of them. He's got 5 quick points, averaging 18, and that is a GMC lead this year. All league to make it 15-9. Kraus back outside. We head the other way.
It looks like Oak Hills is trying to get Herzog going, running him off a couple of doubles. Like you said, he had 16 in that win against Princeton, and I think they're trying to get him comfortable, get him knocking down a few shots.
We mentioned this in the pregame. It's worth mentioning here. A win here tonight for Princeton would be their first return to the Final Four since 2009. They've made the Final Four 2 other times, 2009 and then their first time in 1972. Oak Hills has been around as a high school since 1958. They have never been to a Final Four. This is their first opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's great for both programs here. You know, the experience just to play down here is unbelievable. Use the college locker rooms. Come down here and practice. It is an unbelievable experience, and these guys both deserve it.
Mercer is stripped. It's loose on the floor, and we have a foul or a jump ball. Still waiting here, and we have a jump ball. By the way, tonight's officials, Peyton Four, Jack Schmeezing, and Andrew Galandesi. You know, this is what happens when you get bad handwriting and you're trying to figure things out. But we're going to apologize on the last name.
You know, I do want to mention, Jeff, Mercer right there. You know, everybody knows he signed a multi-million-dollar NIL deal and this and that, but he's getting on the floor for loose balls. That tells you a lot about that kid's character.
Effort. Well, if you're going to be taken care of that way, you have to work the hardest.
Yeah, and he's sending a message to his teammates that, hey, we're here to compete. We're here to win this game, and I love that out of him.
Kornman on the catch from the top of the key. He gets it back. It's a screen from Kraus. Kraus does a lot of dirty work. They play it down low in the score. Brady Wergers, his first deuce.
Oak Hills looks really good when they're facing up with the basketball and surveying the floor and not worried about Princeton's pressure.
A long 3 off mark for Johnson. Not his shot.
Yeah, that's probably not what Coach Wyant wanted in that situation. Johnson's a really good player. Again, I almost would prefer a closeout drive there like he did last possession for a dump down layup or a kick out shot. But again, it's nerves early. It's still early.
As odd as it sounds, I think both teams have finally started to settle in. You kind of get what you get right now. Mercer's double teamed. He throws it into the backcourt and he threw it away. Over and back, it belongs to Oak Hills with 2:27 to go in the first.
Yeah, that's a great drive and kick there by Johnson. You almost want Mercer just to go up and score that thing. And you know, he's a great athlete. He's got a good matchup down there, but they'll get it figured out.
Kornman to throw in. Side out of bounds right in front of us. Down to the bottom of your screen. Finally gets it in.
There's that pressure.
Corman stuck in the paint. Has to break 3 seconds. Now they work it back outside. Oh, and we got contact. A real blocking call down there, as obvious as the night is long.
Yeah, that's definitely a foul, and he got his feet set. That was a really good screen by Oak Hills. Again, they were trying to run Dean off that back action and get him a three, and they set a great screen, and they pick up another foul from Mercer.
Well, in fairness, I will say this. It's like, as somebody who grew up on 80s NBA basketball, that's not a foul. Yeah. That hard screen's not a foul. But, of course, in the rare era that we play here in 2026, that is a foul.
There's no doubt about it. Yep. The game is called much tighter. It's a great screen.
3 off the catch. No good for Dean. He needs to get on track.
That's a good set by Coach Price. They got the shot they wanted. Again, and they've got their defense set in transition much better now, making Princeton play in the half court.
Oak Hills showed 2-3, it looked like, for a second, just a second, and now they run a man.
Yeah, Oak Hills traditionally is a big-time switching team. It's interesting in this game that they're kind of staying home with their own guys.
Jordan gets a touch into the paint and back outside, and they're working some clock with 1:38 to go here in the second quarter. Late in this first half, 15-11, not a lot of scoring, and do we have a timeout?
Yeah, curious there. I didn't know if Coach Wyatt was trying to save it for the last shot.
We have a timeout, and we'll hold things right here. 15-11, so back and forth. I think we've settled down into something. What that something is, I don't know quite yet.
Yeah, again, Coach Wyatt's probably going to get a set play set up here. Probably, I would assume, to get Mercer downhill if he's checking back in the game. Maybe get him on a post up, get something inside, and then when they score layups, they can really get their press set and pressure.
Princeton this season, if you look at their scoring by quarters, they're averaging right around +4 per quarter, throughout every game, and that underscores why they're 22-3. They're constantly winning quarters. +3.7 in the first, +4.3 in the second, +3.9 in the third, and then in the all-important fourth, +4.5.
Yeah, I think that's kind of true to their style, because they are a pressure team. They're going to keep their foot on the gas. Other teams, depending on score, they may play a little bit differently. If they have a lead, they may slow it down. Princeton is just going to keep their foot on the gas and continue to pressure them, and that's what makes them really good. Princeton
is +16.2 in differential throughout the season. They score 63.2 points a ball game, give up 47. Oak Hills, they score 49 a ball game. They give up 42.3. That's +6.7. They work inside for Johnson.
That's a great set by Coach Wyatt. Great after timeout play. Get a back cut layup.
And the assist to Gill to make it 17-11. So turnabout's fair play. The point guard gets the score.
Yeah.
And pressure and taken away. Here's a long three, halfway down the well and out. And Werger's the rebound.
This is what you got to worry about with Princeton. When you turn over and they score, they're going to come right back with pressure. You really got to move on to that next play quickly.
Vetter to the hole.
Just like that. Again, the more you can do to limit their runs like that, they go on mini runs constantly, the better place you're going to be in.
Vetter has 5 off the bench, 17-13 with 42 seconds to go here in this opening half. They stay outside. Santiago Lugo's back in. Here's Johnson with the ball. Man coverage on Dean. Shoots over Dean. No good. Foul on Dean with 31.6 to go.
Yeah, that's a tough action to guard up there when they're weaving on the perimeter and coming up and setting those ball screens, because you've got Lugo, you've got Johnson, you've got Mercer, you've got really 5 guys out there that can beat you off the dribble. And the more movement that they can create like they just did, the better looks they're going to get as they get downhill.
Nice to have the shooter's roll for Jordan Johnson. He's a 63.5% shooter at the stripe this year. Princeton as a team shoots 67.5%, while Oak Hills a little bit better at 69.5%. You can get them both.
Yeah, we talked about free throws and how they were going to be important in this game. I mean, it is a different background to shoot at, and it's tough down here.
And also, it's a pressure game, too, right? Whether you like it or not, and I know kids, 16 and 17 and sometimes 18 years old, are resilient. They're going to still feel the nerves in the gut.
There's no doubt. And in play, like what's going on right now, you don't really feel the nerves, but when there's a stoppage in play and you're standing at that foul line, the nerves are going to come right now, too.
Steps. Cordell Ball led the league in rebounding this year. He's about 8 a ball game. In the tournament, he's averaging 11 points, but get this, he's up the rebounding to just 9.3 rebounds per ball game. That's a lot. That extra rebound in the playoffs is a big one.
Yeah, you're talking about some of these games are down to one possession. That could be the difference in the game right there.
Good frame on him, by the way. You expect that out of a two-way player. And the blocking call.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. He just slid his feet. He had his feet set. That was a good call.
It's on Burgers. So it's in that area of the block charge, right? And the officials decided it's a blocking call with 2.7 to go.
Yeah, and I think it's the right call. And I don't think Coach Price hates that because they're not in the bonus right now. Now they've got to take the ball out of bounds.
So 2.7 seconds left to go here in a fast-moving first half, and now they throw it in. It's Mercer back down low, and before the shot can be put off, the shot is rejected.
Yeah, that's a great set by Coach Wyatt. The lob to the back cut, and Mercer, you know, he's double teamed there, and he's still able to get that lob. That's high-level execution.
Phillips tried to get the shot off, but Brady Kornman got him, and we end the half. And at halftime, it's 19-13. We'll step aside for halftime. When we return, we'll recap the first half and look ahead to half number 2 when we return on Spectrum News 1. On with DJ Wyrick, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. Mark Kennedy is our videographer here tonight. Partner, you've got the halftime numbers. What have they told you here so far through the first 16?
Yeah, you know, Oak Hill's 1 of 9 from 3. Coach Price obviously would love to see that improved. I feel like they're taking good ones too. So, you know, we talked off air. You know, you got to continue to shoot those. You don't just try to pound it inside now that you're 1 for 9. You've got to trust that you can make those shots. You're getting open ones. You're getting good looks. You got to continue to do that. Oak Hill's also with 7 turnovers. I think they'd like to see that number decrease a little bit. On the Princeton side, they've got 4 offensive rebounds. And again, they're a really good offensive rebounding team. So, you know, they hope that number probably ticks up a little bit. They've got 6 turnovers on their own as well. And you know, Oak Hill's playing their packed-in defense. You wouldn't think that would be the case. And again, some of that is probably nerves early. But I feel like both teams are probably pretty happy with where they're at right now and the way this game is going. Obviously, Oak Hill starts making a couple more shots, and they're right back in it.
Neither team shooting very well from the floor. 6 of 18 for Oak Hills at 33%. 5 of 19 for Princeton at 26.3. However, they have the lead with 6 points, a 6-point margin at 19-13. Jordan Johnson, surprise, surprise, the leading scorer in this ball game. He's 2 for 5 from the floor. Got a couple makes at the charity stripe. He's got a game-high 6 points. We mentioned in the pregame we have a dunk meter. The dunk meter was 2.5. We've got 1 so far for Cam Mercer back in the first quarter.
Yeah, and I think that number will uptick a little bit here if Princeton continues to increase their pressure and cause some turnovers for Oak Hills. And then we've yet to see ball get loose for a dunk, and I'm looking forward to that one as well.
So just about set to go here in this all-important third quarter coming out of the locker room. If you're Mike Price, what did you tell your guys?
I would tell him again, guys, when we get in the half court and we are playing half-court basketball, we got to face up, we got to handle that pressure, we got to continue to run what we're running. We're getting great looks. Just handle that pressure, minimize those turnovers, continue to move the ball, be confident when you have the ball in your hands.
We're back underway. Princeton goes right to left. The ball in a 6-point lead. Santiago Lugo, nothing doing, and Oak Hills gets your first crack here in the second half.
Yeah, that's a great drive by Santiago. He's such a threat to score on the perimeter that you've got to guard him well beyond that college three-point line, and that's going to allow him to get downhill just like he did.
Ball got a touch. They keep it outside. It's Dean with it. He lost the handle. Up front. No finish and denied out there by Cornman, and this one out of bounds. And we head the other way with 7:15 to go in the third.
That's again a Princeton's pressure really bothering Oak Hills in the half court. That's going to be a big key in this game. That's another contested shot at the rim that maybe could have been called, and Oak Hills caught a break there.
Both teams moving at a little bit more of a conventional pace right now. They try to work Dean in the middle. They deny him and stay outside.
Yeah, this is the kind of pace that Oak Hills would prefer. It looks like Princeton has backed off their on-ball pressure a little bit here.
Ball blocked by his opposite number, Gill, and they run the break the other way, 2-on-2. They play it down the middle, and Amir Phillips finishes with the bucket.
That's a great drive again by Santiago, drawing the help, passing where the help came from. Really good play, really good finish.
21-13. Driving another block out of bounds. Amir Gill is a pest right now defensively for Oak Hills.
Yeah, and that's a great drive by Oak Hills. You prefer maybe a step-through finish there at the end. I mean, when you get to the rim against Princeton, you're gonna get contested. So you got to play off a two and make that adjustment.
They work down low and tapped out off the hands of Ball. We head the other way. And Princeton with the made bucket has an opportunity to make this a double-digit lead. This is not the start that Mike Price wanted for Oak Hills.
Yeah, back-to-back possessions with turnovers. Again, I didn't feel like the ball pressure from Princeton was that great. Oak Hills, again, probably a little bit of nerves to start this half.
Johnson's been the story of the game. He's stuck low left, checked by Dean.
Looks like Princeton being patient here offensively, trying to get in a set and get organized. Probably something to get Mercer downhill.
We've seen a change in the offense in the last game against the Wayne Warriors. And we'll tell you about it here. 3 misses everything, and we do head the other way. What they had done in the last game against Wayne was they leveraged Gill down on the left corner to start off a half-court offense, and then immediately, as soon as he set up at that corner, pulled him back out and put Johnson, the point guard, there, which is an unorthodox set, but it worked because they won that game against Wayne very handedly.
Yeah, I think a lot of what they're trying to do is kind of get that opposite slot to cut through and give Gill a big driving lane, to give him a double gap to get downhill and create and make a play.
Dean trying to get on track. We mentioned in the first half that in Oak Hills wins, he's averaging 18 a ball game. When Oak Hills loses, he's averaging about 11 and a half.
Yeah, he's a big factor, and with Princeton putting Mercer on him, that's a really good move.
Hornman the turnover. Not to put pressure on A.J. Dean or anybody for that matter, but it tells you this from a complimentary standpoint, that when you're a big part of the reason why your team wins, you have to have an explanation for it, and that's the explanation.
There's no doubt about it. And again, with Princeton putting Mercer on him, he's providing length. Those are tough shots, shooting over 6'5", and a great athlete. Here they go inside to him now.
Mercer, low right and one. Foul on Wergers, and it'll go to the line.
Again, I think this is where Princeton's going to be really successful. The last few games, they put a huge emphasis on Mercer getting into the post. They did it again here. You're going to get positive results when he's got the ball that close to the basket.
He's got 7 points, and did we get a technical on the end of that as well? Because he's going to the line all by himself. We do see Brian Wyatt jockeying for some more leverage down there. I don't know, his team's in a pretty good spot, up by 10.
Yeah, I'm sure he's trying to get an explanation there as to what happened. Doesn't look like Oak Hills is going to sub here. Oh, it looks like the technical was on Princeton. That's probably why he wants the explanation.
So a double technical, and then Dean will go and shoot on the other side. Now we understand.
I think what happened there was Mercer shot the second half of the and one there. I think Mercer picked up the technical celebrating the and one.
Coach, you got it nailed. I'd expect no less from somebody who sees as much bench time as you.
Dean, a really good free throw shooter here. Expect him to make those.
At 82% this season.
Now that's a big play there with Mercer. I know he had at least 2 fouls in the first half. that technical just gave him his third, so that's something certainly to keep an eye on.
5:06 to play, and we see pressure, but it's quickly broken off.
And
as Oak Hills retains. Go ahead.
I think foul trouble, for Princeton is going to be problematic. They don't play a ton of guys, and they play their core guys a significant number of minutes. So Oak Hills needs to take advantage here with Mercer on the bench.
Dean stuck at the elbow. Back outside. Cormac can't pull the trigger. Now he's stuck on the short corner. He plays it down low. Ball low right. No good. Tapped once and out.
Great look by Oak Hills. One of their leading scorers with the ball right at the basket.
They play it down low. Nice move, and Gill finishes. And now maybe you have to call a timeout. Timeout. It's a full, and we'll take one with them as well. 4:27 left to go here in this third period. 26-15, Oak Hills trying to find something here in the third here on Spectrum News 1. The OHSAA Boys Basketball State Semifinals are set for next week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You can check out all 14 games on Spectrum News 1 and the Spectrum News app, as well as OHSAA.tv. On Thursday, March 19th, Divisions 3 and 4 will be played, followed by Divisions 5, 6, and 7 on Friday. Then on Saturday, it's the top two division semifinals from the Nutter Center over at Wright State University. It's all on Spectrum News 1, your home for high school sports. And partner, I bring up Wright State University for two reasons. One, they have punched their dance card. They're going to the March Madness tournament coming up starting next week. And two, you and I have a very decided connection with that part of Fairborn, Ohio.
Yeah, it's a great place. One of my former players, Logan Woods, had an outstanding end of the game for Wright State to send him to the tournament. Really proud of him. He's having great success there. Coach Sargent's doing a great job up there, and excited to see who they draw.
I think we saw a hold on Sebastian Jordan. So you had time there as an assistant as they finally get this one in. And Brian Wyatt saying, where's the 5-second count?
Yeah, he wanted that call there. Oak Hills needs to just continue to work their offense here. They're getting great looks. They need to finish the plays at the rim.
It's Kornman stuck up top. Santiago Lugo has, beg your pardon, it's Jordan on him. Dean has it. They're stuck outside right now.
Yeah, Princeton's really packing it in, which is interesting because that's not what they typically do.
Drive, out of bounds, taken away. Gill up front, a 2-on-1 break. Santiago Lugo to the hole, no good, and the rebound the ball, and they've got numbers. Actually, it's a 2-on-2, ball to the hole, no good. Jordan the rebound. Johnson, and now they play it down low, and this one rejected. We've got a foul as well. A lot of back and forth here at the Cintas Center.
Yeah, this is not the pace that Oak Hills wants. This is certainly what Princeton wants. The turnovers for Oak Hills, the missed layups. The old Hubie Brown saying a missed layup on one end leads to a layup on the other end, and we're seeing that here. And the refs are really letting them play at the rim here. There's a lot of contact, and they're letting them play through it.
And of course, wouldn't you know, it'd be a miss on the first free throw attempt. Well, we're looking for 13 out there. Guess what? We don't have 13 on our list. So we're going to have to track that one down.
Yeah, I'm looking at my scouting report from when we played Princeton, and I don't see him on there either.
Two misses.
It's a big possession for Oak Hills.
Down by 11 with 3:25 left to go. If there's any hope for Oak Hills, I want to say this. In the first regional final of the afternoon, that was in the Akron region, Elyria came back from double digits and made it a ball game all the way to the end. Jordan to the hole. The rebound, the putback, no good. We've got a foul underneath. And right now, just numbers right now for Princeton.
Yeah, Oak Hills is struggling to get their defense or their offense closer to the basket. They're pushing them out to that X logo, and it's hard to initiate offense from that point. I don't think Oak Hills is that upset about this foul. You know, he just went to the line and missed 2, but they've got to do a better job of taking care of the ball in the half court.
So free throws have been problematic here in this stretch. Oak Hill's trying to gain ground, but right now it's Princeton's asserted themselves here in this third.
Yeah, I think Coach Price is getting Krause back in just to provide some more physicality for Oak Hills. Again, Princeton likes to sub after these free throw situations to get their press set.
By the way, 13 may be at 12 on our list, Terrence Jones, and if that's the case, he's got his first point in the ball game at 27-15. We mentioned Elyria came back from double digits back in the first game of the regional finals here this afternoon. They end up losing, however, to St. Ed's 53-50. So St. Ed's has punched their ticket out of the Akron region. They'll face the winner of this one. And there may be a lid on that bucket on the right side. Santiago Lugo mishandles, and this one's saved. And right now, I don't want to say it would be Brian Wyatt's best advice to run clock, but why not run clock with 2:20 to go?
You know, I think they got to keep their foot on the gas for a little bit longer. There they go. You know, they're causing Oak Hills problems in the half court offensively just because of the speed of this game, and they're able to continue to apply their pressure. If they slow it down, that's kind of how Oak Hills wants to play. If I'm Coach Wyan, I'm continuing with the pressure right now.
Point taken, and you know, at some point you kind of say, you have to ask, what is a good lead at what point? A 12-point lead in the third is not a safe lead. A 12-point lead at this point in the fourth quarter, maybe.
Yeah, and that's something you got to gauge, and I think that's team by team, Jeff.
Cordell Ball with 2.
That's a good drive. Dean, again, they're getting deeper in their offense. They're getting deeper. They're getting more paint touches, which is opening more things up for Oak Hills.
Johnson, left-hand layup, no good. Dean the rebound.
Another great drive by Johnson. I think, you know, typically he's kicking that out to a shooter. Oak Hill's doing a good job of staying home.
Dean will stop and go to the well, and a blocking call against Princeton. And they may have bailed out Dean, and Dean can do some damage here. As you mentioned, a good free throw shooter, and maybe this is a good way to catch up, scoring without the clock running.
Yeah, always good, you know, as a scorer to get a couple, see a couple go in from the line and kind of get you kick-started. And Coach Price is hoping that's what happens with Dean right here.
Team's leading scorer with 16 a ball game, looking to get on track. He has yet to get a field goal tonight, if you can believe it.
Yeah, again, Princeton doing a good job sending longer defenders at him on the ball, and he's struggling to shoot up over top of him. But he's a really good player, and he might be getting it going here soon.
Every time I've looked at him, to your point, it always been on that right side of the right point as he makes 2 of 2 here down this trip. But yes, he's been blanketed out on that right side, and every time he comes left, well, maybe he gets a little something, but he's not getting anything on the right side so far.
Yeah, and you know, he loves to get to his one dribble pull-up, and that's hard to do because when a guy like Mercer's guarding you or Gill's guarding you, they've got that length so they can back up a little bit further, and it's easier for them to stay in front.
Mercer got a touch, speaking of. Jordan. And it's out of bounds. Hey, I want to talk about Sebastian Jordan for a second. He didn't appear in that last game because he'd been out for a couple of months with injury. He's come back in for the playoffs. Been a heck of a spark plug for Brian Wyatt.
Yeah, he's got a lot of experience. He's a 3-year starter for them, a guy they were really counting on this year. Unfortunate injury, but a very high IQ player, knows their system. He's been very huge. He's been huge for them.
6 points off the bench this season. And that's so valuable to get that kind of production off the bench, as it looks like they're playing for a final shot here of this third.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go ISO drive here with Mercer. And they've got their shooters spaced in the corner. Probably a roll replace action with 10 and Johnson.
Mercer slips and some contact up high away from it. It looks like some contact between Dean and Johnson.
Yeah, and I don't think Coach Price hates that foul either. They have a foul to give, so he probably told his guys, hey, if you're beat, go ahead and wrap him up because we've got one to give.
7.7 seconds left to go. They'll throw in. Baseline underneath the Oak Hills bucket.
Yeah, I'd look for some sort of lob, probably to Mercer in the paint, and they may drop somebody on a back cut from a corner like they did at the end of the last quarter.
They play out to the corner. Gill draws a double team. Like your partner, it's Mercer. They play inside, and it's Gill to the hole with no time left here in the third.
That's good execution there by Princeton. Kind of a broken play that Oak Hills sent the trap, and Mercer did a good job of getting it out of there.
We head to the timeout. A 10-point lead for the Vikings. They're on their way to the Final Four if they can hold on here on Spectrum News 1. To the fourth we go here in Cincinnati, 29-19, along with DJ Wyrick. I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. Mark Kennedy is babysitting us here tonight.
Yeah, this is a big possession here for Oak Hills. Start the quarter off with a bucket. Princeton obviously wanting the stop.
Well, right now you're just running out of time if you're the Highlanders, and this is the problem. I think you can come back. Do you have enough time?
Yeah, they do. Again, they've got to limit these turnovers.
Steal, up front, thank you very much! Amir Phillips with two the fancy way.
Now, this is a big possession here for Oak Hills. As I said, Princeton will turn you over, and now they've got more energy. They're going to amp up their pressure even more here. Oak Hills has to stay disciplined and get a good one.
Here's Kornman from 15. No good. And Johnson the rebound for Princeton. Up front, it's Mercer. Denied low left, and he has it stripped away. It's stripped back. Here's Mercer. Thank you very much!
You got your three there. There's your three dunks. Princeton with great pressure, and once they get out in transition, they're hard to stop.
Timeout. Mike Price is watching this one slip away with 7:02 left to go here in this ball game. We'll take a timeout right here on Spectrum News 1. The winner of this ball game will take on the winner of the Akron Regional. That is Lakewood St. Ed's. They beat Elyria today by 3 to punch their ticket to the Final Four. They'll meet up in Dayton next week. Along with DJ Wyrick, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. Two dunks here in the fourth to open things up. And now we're jumping here at the Cintas Center.
Yeah, I think Coach Price called that timeout, try to get his guys to settle down. The game is still within reach here, and that's probably the message he's sending to his guys. You know, hey guys, let's get a bucket here. Let's settle in. Let's get a good one. Let's get a stop and just continue to stack those here. We're still well within reach.
The problem with this is Oak Hills does favor the lower scoring game, right? So in the St. X game on Wednesday, we had joked that the first one to 30 in that game was going to win that game. That wasn't going to be the case here no matter what. Here's three from long range, no good, and this one tapped out as Herzog misfires.
Yeah, you know, when you're a team that plays a slower pace, it's challenging like this when you get behind because this isn't what the style you're used to playing. Now Princeton, on the other hand, this is how they want to play, so Oak Hills is at a little bit of a disadvantage.
It's Dean with the ball top of the key. And as you mentioned, a bigger, longer defender in Cam Mercer on him. Three from the wing. And again, right now, empty possessions. Ball tries to rebound and put it back. No good, and we've got a held ball.
That's two good looks by Herzog. I think they're happy with those looks. He's got to continue to shoot those and play with confidence. Great rebound there by Ball to get him an extra possession. Might have got away with a foul call there for Princeton.
Kraus was tied up, and on alternates, it belongs to Princeton.
Coach Wyant's holding up his play cards right now, letting the team know what he wants them to run. It looks like he's trying to run a zoom action, so they're going to dribble handoff to the corner and set a down screen.
6:03 left to go towards Coronation. Will it be Princeton? They're in control of this one by 14. It's Mercer with the ball. Is this now the time to slow things down?
It looks like that's what Coach Wyatt's ready to do. They're kind of spacing them out.
What a move!
Yeah, they're spacing them out and drawing Oak Hills out, and then they find a matchup that they like, and they're ready to attack it.
Like a bolt of silk, Amir Phillips makes it 35-19, a 16-point lead. Princeton played this way similarly against Wayne back in the semifinal on Wednesday night. A close game in the early quarters, and now 3 straight on for ball. Back iron, no good. Rogers rebounds, puts it up, no good. He'll go to the line.
That's a tough play for Krause, and you like to see that out of kids right now at this stage of the game. He's continuing to compete. He's trying to make winning plays for his team. He's a really tough kid. Coach Price told me he just hit for the Brewers last week. Took 40 swings, 19 of them he hit out of the park. So he's got a really bright future. He's going to Wright State to play baseball.
And that's a great program out there. And the first one by Krause. We mentioned Werger's name. It's not Werger's, it's Krause, and he goes to the line and he gets to first. 60% shooter at the stripe this year, Will Krause, averaging about 5 points a ball game. And they need to cut into this lead, and it does help that the clock is stopped. By the way, speaking of Wright State baseball for just a second, I was privy to their first Division I NCAA tournament appearance back in their 90s when Ron Nischwitz, whose name is on the stadium, was the head coach there.
Yeah, I got to meet Ron in my time at Wright State. Terrific human being, unbelievable baseball coach, and like you said, that program has really taken off.
It's in great hands out there. By the way, how do I know about Wright State? So, of course, you know my partner DJ was an assistant out there for a little bit. I was doing the TV broadcast for basketball for 10 years. Mercer misses, but the cleanup is good. And Gill cleans him up.
Yeah, Oak Hills had to provide help on that drive for Mercer, which opened up that offensive rebound opportunity for Gill. He did a great job of crashing.
Blocking call on the way down at 37-20.
Again, Princeton's much more patient on the offensive end, but they're still applying that pressure defensively and forcing Oak Hills into some quick decisions.
Here's a 3 from the wing for Dean. He can't get it to go. And Gill finally collects it, and he's got a 3-on-3 down the floor. He'll wait. Jordan Johnson has played a really nice floor game this afternoon. They stay outside and run clock. I thought they were going to go for the layup. Instead, they'll keep running the clock.
Yeah, that's a high IQ play by Phillips right there, knowing they don't need a contested shot at the rim right now. The clock is their friend, and continue to burn it.
Jordan Johnson is fouled from behind by Kornman.
Yeah, that's 2 on Oak Hill, so there's nothing hurt there. They just, again, maybe pick up the pressure a little bit and try to create some turnovers.
They work into Mercer. 1-on-1, turns baseline. Thank you very much! Wow! That was fancy.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing that against a double team in a post. That's why he's the number 6 player in the country and the number 1 player in his class in the state. There's not many kids that can do what he just did.
ESPN has him as a 5-star, 24/7 as a 4-star. No matter what, he's really good.
Yeah, another great drive. Princeton providing great help on that baseline rotation.
By the way, on a side note, I'm going to wish you luck the next couple of years having to face that.
Yeah. You know, we're excited for the opportunity for sure. It's always fun. You know, our league right now has a ton of great talent in it, and it's young talent. So I think the next couple years in the GMC is going to be a lot of fun.
3:20 to go towards Coronation, 39-20. And the lay-in by Gill. Boy, he's been really solid tonight and in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're playing with great poise right now, great spacing offensively. As Oak Hills rotates over into some of their trapping actions, their spacing of Princeton has really been good.
He's got a game-high 13. 3, no good for Dean, and this one out, and they save it up front for Kornman. Kornman puts it on the deck. It's loose. It's still loose. And it's taken away by Princeton on a 3-on-1. On the move. What a move for Santiago Lugo. That was nifty. It's another steal. Now we're having fun. And a foul well before the shot attempt. Otherwise, Mercer had another dunk.
Yeah, I kind of thought Lugo might pull that thing out. That was obviously a terrific finish. But again, Princeton and their pressure, it's bothering Oak Hills, and it's really successful for them.
And they can smell the Final Four in Sharonville right now. Timeout with 2:32 left to go here in this ballgame. We'll keep things right here. Partner, it's been escalation since the start of the second half. It was like a couple of early buckets, a couple of early stops, and all of a sudden, Princeton finally found the role that they didn't really have through the first 16 minutes.
Yeah, and that's what they do. They go on these runs, and if you're their opponent, you've got to stop them immediately. Because when they get going, their energy picks up, their pressure picks up, and it snowballs, and it's hard to get mentally ready to defend against that and to take care of the ball against it.
In the last 4.5 minutes, it's a 10-1 run to punctuate this ball game and really put things out of reach for Oak Hills, who had a real good shot at getting to their first ever Final Four, but unfortunately 2026 it was not to be.
Yeah, I think Coach Price has done a terrific job with this group. He loves this group. He's really emotional about this group. If you've seen some of his interviews, he said they've really bought into their scouting. They've really bought into the game plan. They're great teammates. He's done a great job.
Gill leans in, no good, and this one tapped out, and we head the other way. Well, even after this ballgame, and I hope we get a chance to talk to Mike Price after this one. He's going to be very proud of this team. And that was apparent, again, as we saw Wednesday night with an emotional interview with Mike Dyer of WCPO. But he does wear his heart on the sleeve, but the pride's going to show through even past the disappointment of tonight.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And if you told Coach Price at the start of this year, hey, you're going to be down at the Cintas playing in a regional final, I think he'd be elated.
43-20 with 2 minutes left to play. Oh, nice lean in for Phillips.
Yeah, and on the flip side, I also think Coach Wine has done a great job with this group. When you're this talented, when you've got this much talent, there's a lot of personalities that you've got to figure out how to mesh together. And if you watch them out here, the way that they play as a team. They're not trying to do too much. He's done a great job with this group as well.
In and out for Kornman. Save to Princeton on a 3-on-1. The lob and the miss dunk by Phillips, however, the save and the cleanup. Good finish there by Kenny Pope into this ball game.
Yeah, and again, as I've said with Princeton, they're going to continue this pressure. They're going to continue to play this way. This is what they do. They're up 27 with a minute and a half, and they're still continuing to just go and go and go, and that's part of what makes them good.
Thank you very much for Cordell Ball, and we got a timeout with 1:13, and we're going to see a line change here, especially for Oak Hills, trying to get in some guys who really practiced hard. Maybe this is the hard part when you're in a regional final, whether you're on the winning side or the losing side. You have to get guys in. You have to thank them for their efforts throughout a whole season.
Yeah, and if you talk to Coach Price, these kids are so important to this team. The kids that are subbing in now, they're in practice every day. They're doing everything that the rest of the team does. They're probably being the scout team. I'm sure they were Princeton these last 2 days leading up to this game, and their role on the team is so important. It's not talked about enough.
Coming up on 1 minute left to go here in this regional final. They work it down low, and the block shot. Schreiber blocks it away. The quarterback on the Oak Hills Highlanders team. His older brother also played quarterback for that team. They work inside. Nice high-low. Kenny Pope gets another bucket.
It's good execution by Princeton, and this is one of those things, Jeff, where these guys, they've just subbed in now. You still want them to play. You still want them to experience it. You don't want them to just hold the ball up at half court. That's not fair to them. Another shot by Oak Hills.
Down to the final seconds, and we'll see if they hold or actually run a play. They're going to hold it out. Congratulations, Princeton! You are headed to the Final Four! What a finish for the Vikings down the stretch to win this one 49-22, improve their record to 23-3 as Oak Hills ends their season at 18-8. Partner, I got to say this before we get into some of the statistical superlatives on this. I did want to say that Jordan Johnson had a really nice all-around floor game tonight. I think he controlled the floor very well.
Yeah, he got them organized in their offense. He's a good point guard. I thought his ball pressure defensively really helped out as well. And he was driving it, and as we saw, Oak Hills was kind of staying home on the perimeter when he was driving it to limit his assists. And I thought Jordan did a good job of continuing to attack, getting to the foul line, and finishing plays around the rim.
Speaking about finishing plays, how about the finish in the second half? We did see a dunk from Cam Mercer back in the first half, and then it was Dunk City here at half number 2, and they really punctuated things right at the hoop.
Yeah, and again, when the pressure mounted and they were able to get stops and create turnovers, they are so dangerous in transition in the full court. It's tough to play against. I thought Oak Hills played a good game. You know, they didn't shoot the ball well at all. They shot 6.7% from 3. I don't think they took a bunch of bad ones. I thought they did a good job there, but again, Princeton did what they came here to do. They came here to create turnovers. Oak Hills had 16 turnovers, it looks like. Princeton did a great job of causing havoc and second chance points, and they definitely earned this one.
In a low-scoring game, it was Amir Gill who led all scorers with 13 points. Cam Mercer had 12 in support. They accounted for 25 of the 49 points by the Vikings this afternoon. Let's give you a little bit of a breakdown here. Field goals, it was Princeton, 19 for 45 from the floor for 42%, 2 of 8 from behind the three-point line at 25%, 9 of 13 at the charity stripe at 69%. On the other side, 8 of 36 were the Highlanders from the floor at 22%. They were 1 of 15 at the three-point line at 6.7% and 5 of 6 at the charity stripe for 83%. So what that tells me, partner, as we look at some of those numbers, is not enough times at the line for one, but if you live by the 3, you also die by the 3. And unfortunately, for much like St. X on Wednesday, it was the fate of the Highlanders here tonight.
Yeah, it definitely was. And to your point about the free throws, Jeff, if you look at the game that Oak Hills won against Princeton, they shot maybe 4 times as many free throws as Princeton. Where tonight they only shot 6, Princeton shot 13. I think another stat that's interesting to me is, you know, Princeton had 34 points in the paint, but 18 of those were fast break points. So those are those dunks that we spoke about in transition. They got the ball to the rim, they got it downhill. Not so much in the half court, but I thought they did a great job of getting it to the rim and in the paint in transition in the full court.
And we don't have the camera on them right now, but we're seeing some glad hands by Mike Price's crew out on the right side. And congratulations, the runner-ups in the Region 4 this year. And while it's a disappointing ending for them, they're going to look back at this season and be very, very proud.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's going to take them a couple days because they're competitors. So Coach Price right now, the emotions he's dealing with is, man, if we would have done this, if we would have done that, right? But when he gets time to like sit down and really reflect, he's going to understand that, you know, his team and his program had a great season and something certainly to be proud of.
And what a breakaway fourth quarter it was by Princeton. They closed out the ball game 20-3. And that's why we had the lopsided score, because it was a pretty tight game through the half and into the early minutes of the second half. And once they got that 10-point lead, it was open season.
Yeah, I think, too, when Oak Hills had to play a little bit differently, they had to play with a little more pace offensively. They had to take some risks defensively. That's going to open up those driving lanes for Princeton, and they've got really good players. They've got great athletes that are going to get downhill and take advantage of that. So that was definitely a factor.
We only had one official lead change in this ballgame. We had one tie the ball game was tied up at 2, and then Princeton went on a 5-0 run, and at that point they held the Highlanders at arm's length and eventually, again, ran away with it in the second half. Final thoughts on this one?
You know, just for me being a coach in the league, I thought this would, you know, they represented our league really well. Princeton's got a chance. Princeton is talented enough. They've got a chance to win a state title. Lakota West, similar situation. Like, again, as I said, it would be great for the league if we had 2 teams in the state finals. But both really well-coached teams, really deserving of being here. You know, I'm happy for both programs.
Partner, it's been fun, and for those of you sticking with us, we'll have an extended post-game, we'll have an extended post-game ceremony. We'll see the cutting of the nets for the Princeton Vikings. We will give them their proper coordination for having won Region 4. But for those of you leaving us here, we'll put a capper on this one. Again, the final here this afternoon, 49-22. Princeton moves on. They head to the state Final Four, and they go back for the first time since 2009. Our videographer was Mark Kennedy. Our coordinating producer was Jeff Hitzman. Our executive producer, Rob Coons. Our special thanks go out to Scott Mueller from Xavier University, the operations manager here at the Cintas Center. Boy, he and his crew really took care of us very well. Again, Amir Gill led everybody in scoring with 13 points tonight as Princeton runs away with the Region 4 crown, 49-22. For DJ Wyrick, I'm Geoff Kim. So long from Cincinnati. Good afternoon to you. Along with DJ Wyrick, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us for the post game here in this Region 4 final in Cincinnati. Not a classic. However, if you are if you're in Sharonville, you are celebrating right now because you're heading to Dayton next week.
Yeah, you know, again, I don't think the final score really tells the tale of this game. I think it was closer than the score indicates. But Princeton, again, they got it to where they wanted it. An up and down paced game, forcing Oak Hills to come out and guard, not packing it in the half court defensively, open up driving lanes, and they're really good players, made really good plays.
If memory serves, and forgive me if I'm wrong, the girls team last year had won the state title. The boys said, why not us? And right now, Brian Wyant and his crew are 2 games away from their own state title here in 2026. Just an amazing output. Want to hit upon something, partner, as we just talk. We're going to have some time to talk about this here as they're just going to celebrate, take pictures for everybody, and cut down the nets. This team was already talented enough before Cam Mercer arrived halfway through the season. He played 1 game in the middle of December and then took another handful of games off. I don't know the situation. I don't know if he was injured or if he was trying to just catch up, get his legs back underneath him, and move back to Ohio for that matter. But anyways, this is a team that lost only 1 game without Cam Mercer, who's up on the floor right now, and 2 games with Mercer, believe it or not, in the lineup. But right now, this is a team perhaps to beat. And if you're Lakota West coming out of Region 3, and we know that they're going to take on Pick Central tonight, and that game is not a given for Lakota West, even for the number 1 team in the state. The idea that this one's on the calendar for a state final in Dayton between 2 GMC schools is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool, and you know, I don't know if this has ever happened before, but the way that the new tournament set up with the 64 Division I teams has really changed a lot of how this even operates. You look back to the district finals, and Lakota West was playing up in Dayton, where the rest of us were playing down here. So it's been different, but I think it's really been good for the sport overall. But yeah, to your point, if two teams from the same league. That would be outstanding. That would just kind of just showcase our league and how competitive it is. But still, you got to be happy for Princeton. And like you said, Cam Mercer, adding him, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Brian Wyant because it can't be easy bringing a kid of that caliber in and everything that comes with it to manage that to fit him in with the team, to get him to buy in. If you watch him out here on the court, I spoke earlier about him diving on the floor for a loose ball. There's not a ton of five-star kids who are going to come in and just do that and buy into the system. And Coach Wine and his staff have done a great job of getting him to fit in.
Arguably the best or the most talented players in your league this year play within a team context. I got to see Josh Tyson with Lakota West a couple months ago in that prep showcase, and ironically their only loss of the year to that prep giant Lumiere out of northern Indiana. And when your best player plays within the context of a team, that gives your team motivation to do the best they can, but also be unselfish.
There's no doubt about it. And back to him diving on the floor. If he's going to dive on the floor, the five-star kid, then every single kid on that bench, every single kid out there on the floor, he's got to do the same. So they set the tone. Your point about Tyson, he's very similar. Another really high IQ kid, plays hard, plays the right way. And when your best player is doing that, and when your best player is approaching practice in the right way, it's easy for those other guys to fall in line.
We're seeing the Princeton Vikings getting to cut down the nets. I never get sick of this. And I mean this on every level, whether it's high school, whether it's college, whether it's the pros. I never get sick of this. It's that wine shining moment thing that you often hear at the end of March Madness. But I think the thing that I take away in watching these ceremonies is no matter which side you're on, and in the case of Oak Hills, you're watching this and wishing it was you, right? And instead you're on the wrong side of a 27-point score this evening. The whole point is this. It could have been you. You appreciate the talent on the other side, the competition, and you tip your cap because you know that the team that got you tonight was really, really good and played their butts off.
Yeah, and this is such a cool experience. You know, when I was in this situation, the most fun part for me is watching the guys cut it down and see the smile on their faces. We put in so much time to this. I mean, anymore, high school basketball is a year-round sport. You're doing it in the off season. You're together 4 or 5 times a week in the off season. Princeton puts in a bunch of work in the off season, and this is finally like validation of, hey, all of that was worth it, and to see the smile on the kids' faces, there's nothing better.
An amazing group, these Princeton Vikings, and you know we'll catch up obviously with Brian Wyatt, who, by the way, this is his 6th year with the program, and there was a point when, and I think you understand this as well as anybody because you know what it's like to be at the top of a conference, and your Fairfield Indians won 3 straight conference titles. That was at a time where Princeton was just saying, we don't know who we are yet, and in the last year or so they may have figured it out.
Yeah, they're playing a little bit differently this year than they have historically, spacing the floor more, driving the basketball a lot more, and a lot of that, Geoff, comes down to your personnel. Like, what are these guys capable of? What can I do to put them in a place to be the most successful? And I think Brian's done a really good job this year of figuring that out. What this team is going to do really well? How can I get them in those spots? And they certainly did that tonight, and they've done that all year.
I know we talked about Lakota West off and on throughout the broadcast, and obviously they're out of Region 3. They'll play tonight against Pick Central for the right to have one of the 4 slots in Dayton. However, we do know that it's Lakewood St. Ed's, and I don't know if you've seen them this year. I did get to see a little bit of that game against Elyria, and if nothing else, St. Ed's was resilient. So this should be a hell of a game coming up between Princeton and St. Ed's in the semifinal next Saturday.
Yeah, and you know, in this round here, the Final Four round, I think coaching plays a huge factor because you've now got a week to prepare for an opponent that you haven't seen before. Like this game tonight, they had 2 days of prep, but they knew everything about each other, right? As you're going into this Final Four game, you probably don't know much at all about this team you're getting ready to play. So I'm sure these coaches are going to go start breaking down film tonight as they get home, try to get a plan together for practice. But you're going to watch film. You're going to have a scout ready for those guys probably tomorrow, and you're going to start hammering that out. And again, I think coaching and game planning is going to be key moving forward to this next round.
Can't wait for it in Dayton, and it'll of course be right here on Spectrum News 1 and on the app and on OHSAA.TV. And again, can't wait for it. Dayton is the home of basketball. By the way, speaking of basketball there, not only do you have the girls' Final Four going on right now, the boys next week, Also next week, or early next week, will be the first four for the college basketball. I've got some tickets, by the way, so
Okay.
it's like, so I can't wait to see the first four over at UD Arena. Dayton is right now the mecca of basketball, if not in the state of Ohio, maybe perhaps in the whole country.
Yeah, it's a great time of year right now for basketball fans. Again, excited kind of to see what the Redhawks do.
And if we can get a shot in on Coach Brian Wyatt, who gets the final cut down of the net. Congratulations, Princeton. A long road for Brian Wyatt. Now, of course, 12 years over at Hughes, with the Big Red, and then he came on over, and he left a good program at Hughes. And he said, well, I'll take a risk. I'll come over to Princeton and find out what Division I ball is all about. And sure enough, he's made it pay off here in 2026.
Yeah, Brian's done a great job. They put in a ton of work. He's got a great staff. He's got, Berto Allen was the head coach at Withrow. Tim Monahan was the head coach at McNick for a long time, I think close to 20 years. They've got a really good staff, and this is well-deserved.
By the way, as we put a capper to this one, now that the nets are finally cut down and we have congratulated Princeton properly, how was your maiden voyage as a broadcaster, DJ?
I enjoyed it. You made it easy on me. I had a lot of fun. Great to see this game, great atmosphere, and really enjoyed it. Looking forward to doing it again sometime.
Hopefully, we're going to see you more on the bench at this time next year for the 2027 regional final. But we can't wait to have you back nonetheless at some point. Again, the final here in this one, as we close this one out. Princeton goes to the Final Four. Big winners here this afternoon over Oak Hills to capture Region 4, 49-22. Our thanks again go out to our videographer, Mark Kennedy, to our coordinating producer, Jeff Hitzman, to our executive producer, Rob Coons. A special thanks to Scott Mueller with Xavier University. He runs everything here at the Cintas Center. 49-22. It'll be Princeton against Lakewood St. Edwards next Saturday. We can't wait to have that one here for you here on Spectrum News 1. For DJ Wyrick, I'm Geoff Kim. Good night one final time from Cincinnati.